When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, Colleen Biggs. And as always, we have another treat for you this week. If you're a business owner and you're really enjoying this podcast, share it with another small business owner. There's tips that we give every single week on how to design not only your life, but your business really the way that you want it to run. We've talked a lot about getting who's in your businesses to do the things that you don't know how to do. And I bet marketing is on that list. And if you're not online, you're not an option. That's what our guest Iris tells us today. So before we dive in to talking with Iris, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's show, Phoenix Drone Pros. And at Phoenix Drone Pros, we love what we do and are passionate about each and every drone photography and video shoot. We've been in business since 2017. Our talent and skills shows in the video production we deliver. We offer fast service for commercial real estate, movies, events, and construction site monitoring. We also provide drone virtual tours that are all the rage right now. These virtual tours are great for team building and entertainment. Contact us today at phoenixdronepros.com to schedule your shoot online or to get more information. We are now franchising. Reach out for info on how you can purchase your own drone company today. We capture everything. Thank you, Phoenix Drone Pros, for being the sponsor of today's show. All right, let's talk about a little bit about Iris Goldfeder. She's a long time entrepreneur with more than 25 years. That's a long time of success in the marketing.
When you say that, that's just like, whoa.
Yeah, right. Before coming back to focus on Gas Stove Creative full-time, Iris was the co-founder and managing director of Strategy Virtual Marketing. Iris also serves as the vice president of the board for the Friends of Downtown, the FTC. She's also the founder of ICG Development and Consulting LLC. Iris is passionate about social issues and giving back to the community. She's the president of Unmasking Lafayette, a local nonprofit 501c3 organization that she co-founded with her friend Michelle Zaremba. Did I say that right? Okay.
Yes,
great.
Very good.
And so, Iris's passion is helping her clients grow their businesses with her motto is, I meet you where you are. And then she says, if you're not online, you're not an option. So we need to talk about that, Iris. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I would say the environment is unstable no matter what. Like anyone that thinks it's stable, they're crazy, right? It's one day we're dropping gas $2 a gallon. Next day it's going up $2 a gallon. Everything is all over the place. There's really no certainty of what's happening anywhere. I mean, everyone kind of feels that. They feel that in their business. And then, they're marketing. And when times are good, I say they're riding the wave. When times are good, they ride the wave and they'll pay for the who's to do the work for them. And then all of a sudden, when it gets a little shaky, they start pulling back and they're like, oh, no, I can't afford this anymore. And that's when they should be doing what?
That's when they should be spending the money in marketing. I mean, at the end of the day, when you pull those dollars back, you're taking your exposure away. And that's why I say, if you're not online, you're not an option. If your competitor is online and you're not, they're going to get found. You're not, right? If your competitor is out there marketing and doing TV commercials or whatever kind of advertising that you do, and you're not an option. And at the end of the day, you always want to be top of mind. And it's the times that the economy takes downturn. And honestly, I don't know if we're there at this point, but people are freaking out about it. And plus, we're coming into an election year and people always freak out during election years.
You use the exact words I talked about. We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. So when you pull those dollars away, now you're pulling your exposure away. And guess what? You're not top of mind anymore because people can't see you.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to drill that into, my clients. The clients that I have now know that. They completely understand it. People that are looking to work with me are in that, should I spend the money? And I always say, I'm going to lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink. I never force anybody. I never push it. I'm not salesy. I don't believe in, fear marketing where it's like, oh, if you don't do this, you're screwed. If you don't do it, you don't do it. I mean, I don't work with everybody that comes to me anyway. I'm very, picky about who I work with.
But have a plan, right? Is what you're saying. You've got to have a marketing plan.
You have to have a plan. Yes.
Yeah. I love that. So I have to ask the question, what does Gas Stove Creative, where did that come from? That is a very creative name for a marketing company.
Thank you. So it really started because when I first started this 9 years ago, I had a partner and his last name began with with S. Mine begins with G and my wife begins with C. So we had GSC. We knew C was going to be creative because it was like, duh, okay, we're, creative, but we couldn't figure out what to do with the G and the S. It was like, what on earth? So we spent like a whole day and we were going back and forth. And I think it was like 11 o'clock at night because I was just so burnt. I was like, okay, Gas Stove Creative, now we're cooking. And it was like, that's it. Because we were emailing our friends like during the day, hey, what about this name? And they were like, no, it's lame, so we emailed them this one and they were like, that's the winner. And I was like, great. So that was it. I used to cook professionally. And my podcast is, the cookbook, Recipes for Success in Business and Marketing. So I tie it all together, right?
It's perfect.
Gas Stove Creative, the cookbook, what lights your fire.
It's very unique. And I think that is a marketing position as well, right? To be unique when someone sees that, it's a unique name. You were talking earlier about if you're not online, you're not an option. And 5 years ago, when I became an entrepreneur, because I'd worked with entrepreneurs for 20 years and launched businesses, when I became an entrepreneur, I was not really online. I mean, LinkedIn came up if you put my name in, maybe a YouTube video. And then I dominate Google now because of all that I've done, right? And so I feel like the other Colleen Biggs are not an option anymore because I've just saturated the market with my name in so many different areas, magazines and podcasts and summits and, all kinds of advertisement and keynote speaking and whatever that people have advertised me for. And I think that's exactly what you're talking about. If you're not out there, how could that another Colleen Biggs get that kind of notoriety? How do they get noticed if I'm just, all over every page? It's like, well, she's not an option because no one even knows they exist. So that's a really good analogy that you had talked about, and making sure that you're out there. So in marketing, I got to ask, what are kind of the latest trends in marketing? Because AI is on the scene now.
AI is huge.
Yep. Yeah. We're still doing a lot of online marketing. And with the clients you're working with or those that you consult with, whatever it may be, what are we finding? Is direct mail coming back? Or, is that something where we should be looking at doing more grassroots? What should we be looking at doing more of? Because when the pandemic hit, so many companies went global because now they could reach, the millions of people across, their state line and, out of their city and into other countries. Are we still doing, marketing online, or are you saying we need to be running ads? We need to be doing videos. We need to be showing up on other platforms. What I know there's no silver bullet, but what are you finding that is working with your clients?
So I'm finding video is huge.
Okay.
Because like you said, COVID hit and we went global, right? I have national clients. I'm going to be starting with an international client soon, which, if you would have told me that 3 years ago, I'd be like, you're crazy. How would I work with somebody internationally? But, here we are. I think, as far as, video, it helps because it's like this, right? People get to see us. They get to see us real time. There are a lot of people that are out there that do video and they are very stiff and they are reading. And you know, you can tell, and they're new. And I give them an A for effort. It's like I'm a professional singer and I go to a karaoke bar and somebody gets up there and sings and I give them credit for trying, right?
Oh my gosh.
Video. You just have to get used to it. But at the end of the day, like when I work with my clients, because we do video for a lot of our clients that are national, you know, we'll be sitting on StreamYard or whatever we do. And, you know, they'll be like, okay. And I'm like, put your paper away. Don't read. You know your stuff. You know your stuff. So just
gotta come
talk
from the heart,
heart,
man.
Right. And they do. And when they do, and they put it on LinkedIn, they put it on Facebook, they, you know, will cut it down to like, you know, a minute for Instagram, because you have to be like a minute for Instagram, right? They get a lot of response after a while because, and you have to be consistent. You can't just like throw up a video. Like I do 3 posts a week. I do, and I'm getting back to video, but I do an audiograph, which is just me speaking. And, you know, there's like a photo, but you know, all of the content comes up. So there's like the closed captioning that LinkedIn does, and then there's the actual closed captioning that we put on it. And you know, after a while, people see you, you know, 3 times a week, and you're giving them really good information. I rarely sell online. I rarely, like, my posts are very rarely, hey, let me help you. To me, it's like, hey, let's get to know each other. Let's build a relationship, because I don't want to work with somebody that I don't know. I don't want you to work with somebody you don't know, right? So when we do video, they really get a good feel for who we are. But the key is really being consistent. And it's not just on, you know, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, business owners, we need to be on LinkedIn. That's, you know, my biggest thing.
Hands down. I don't care what business you have. If you're a health coach, you still need to be on LinkedIn. And I've actually had a lot of ladies tell me, well, you know, I'm a health coach, so why would I be on LinkedIn? I'm like, do you know how many executives on LinkedIn need a health coach? So I'm going to tell you right now, that's where you need to be.
100%. So
sure.
so the trends are, and then you asked about direct mail. And I think for local businesses, 100% direct mail is starting to work, because how many emails do we get a day? We start emails.
Hundreds.
Now, email marketing does still work, and it's actually a really good, you know, way to market. But direct mail, you know, when somebody gets something that looks really nice in the mail, especially if you're a service-based business, that works great. But you have to really know your target market. Like, you can't just say, I'm going to blanket, you know, all of Lafayette, Indiana, because guess what? All of Lafayette, Indiana is not your demo. You know, your demo is going to be, and by demo, I mean demographic, for those of you who don't know. And a demographic is, you know, like a household income of 100, 150,000 plus, male or female, 25 to 60. Those are demographics that you want to, you know, target in on. And that's just a general one. That's not, you know, it depends on what your vertical is and, you know, what your industry is.
Yeah, I think it's smart. You know, I see a lot of local companies here that are owners in my actual community. So we have a community, we have Facebook pages here in the community. And when they send out direct mail in my mailbox, I might have missed it on an algorithm and they never got into my feed on Facebook, right? So I might have missed when they were promoting about their grand opening. But if you live in a community, you want to support other business owners in your community and what they're doing. So you're like, well, of course, I want to go try out your food. Well, I saw one today and they do egg bites and keto boxes and all this stuff. I'm like, that's so perfect for me because I eat keto, you know, and I had no idea this was new you know, that someone in the community had started this business. So I think it's so important that we do not just, and this comes from way back in the day, you know, in working with brick and mortar stores when I was launching businesses with brick and mortar stores, which was there's this kind of grassroots effort where you've got to get out in the community and people have to know you exist. Like, you can't become a hermit in your house, you know? So are you volunteering at a nonprofit run? Are you volunteering to do something? Are you, and then are you posting that on, social media and letting people know that you're volunteering at these places? You have to kind of be seen not only physically, but online, in the mail, on an email. It's kind of touching all those places. I don't really think there's a one size fits all for every company, but I certainly feel that some decisions can be made a little bit easier if it's an email campaign versus another, right? If someone's maybe selling a low priced item or inviting you to an event or free, something like that might be easier than someone that is selling something that's a little bit more complicated or a high ticket item or something that you would need to know that person a lot better before you kind of got in bed with them, if that makes sense.
Right. And I think the thing is too, you want to make sure that you're talking to your ideal audience. And a lot of people don't even know who their ideal audience is. They think they do, but then they're like, hey, Iris, I'm not getting results. And it's like, okay, so we sit down and we do an exercise. Let's figure out who your ideal client is. Oh, I know who they are. Okay, who are they? And they'll tell me who they think they are. And then we go through a little exercise and it's not even close. It's not even close. And that's why you want to hire the experts, is because we have the tools, we have the knowledge on how to help you figure out who is your ideal client. Because if you're sending an email out that is, going to speak to, I don't know, people who are doing a launch, right? They're launching a new product. And you have an ideal list for that, but you're sending the email out to people who have already launched their project or people who don't even care about launch, then you're wasting your email. You want to, anything that you do, you want to make sure that it's targeted so that it's effective, because if you don't hit your target, you're not going to be effective.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And finding that target is just as crucial as how you market. And I think you hit the nail on the head there. And I want to go back and anchor that really in for our listeners, because understanding who your target market is changes how you talk to any content, any video, anything you're pushing out, because now you have the ability to talk directly to that. So if your ideal client was a breastfeeding mother, I'm going to use as an example because it's a good example to use, then you're going to be talking everything about her maybe sleep deprivation, the concern with latching, how long breast milk is good. Can you freeze it? There's going to be a lot of direct discussions that are directly to that mother with what she's doing and products that support her in that journey, right? If that's what you do and that's what your products are, you can talk directly to her and she's going to hear what you're saying because that's what she's doing right now. But if you're out there talking, about your products to people like me, where I'm like a grandmother, I'm not a breastfeeding mother, those aren't going to, that, and you're sending that to me, those aren't going to resonate with me because I'm not even in the mental state. Right. So if you're talking to like new mothers that are in the first year of, raising a child, that's kind of a target and a demographic. And so if you're in business and you are working with, for instance, me, startups, people that are just like coming out of corporate America, launching businesses, there's a way to talk to them so that they really feel like, oh, this is me. This will help me. This is something that is going to give me the boost that I need, to be able to do what I need to do. Does that make sense? Yeah,
it does. And
I would love to hear from your marketing standpoint on that.
So there's two things there, right? So yes, marketing to the breastfeeding parent, great. Or the breastfeeding mother, or parent, because it could be to him. But anyway, and then marketing to the grandparent, because maybe their daughter is having a problem with latching.
Yeah. And
you get this email and you're like, oh, you know what? I got this email and they were talking about latching and here's some, products, whatever. So you have to be really strategic in how you do it. So yeah, absolutely the mother, but why not the grandmother, especially if there's an issue? The other thing I think, with that is when you target people, you have to make sure that you're not talking about your product. All people care about is how can you help me? Period. And that needs to be the first line. So you're solving their problem in that email subject line. They see that, they're going through that, they're going to open that email.
Yeah.
So, you could say, something like, you know, um, baby just can't latch, or, whatever. Baby don't got latch, and so, baby got back, got
so
latch, something, right? But something, eye catching. And then, that breastfeeding mother is going to open that email up, right?
Yeah.
You send it to grandma, and grandma knows, hey, Susie's really having a problem with, Janie latching on. And so you need to look, because there's different tiers, right? And then there's different layers. So that's why marketing isn't just, when I say I meet you where you are, it's not cookie cutter. It's not one size fits all. It's very customized, because each client has their own stuff.
Well, that's why you're the marketing professional. I mean, right there with what you explained. And I think that's so cute. Baby got latch. I mean, come on, that's adorable. Right. You come up with some good stuff, Iris. I'm not going to lie. And I know many businesses out there are already, all of them right now that are listening are thinking to themselves, I don't have a solid marketing plan. I do this today. I do that tomorrow. I'm not consistent. I really just kind of throw stuff out there. I don't have a solid marketing plan, but I need one. So how do they find you? Where's the best place that they should go to connect with you, to send you a message?
LinkedIn, and make sure that you mention that you saw me on this podcast, because I get so much spam that I don't answer everything. The amount of spam I get is ridiculous. But LinkedIn, our business page, Gas Stove Creative, is on Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
And we usually post on all three places. The contact page on my website, gasstovecreative.com. Those are the.
So we have all the links right there at their fingertips. And if you even want to send an email to info@callingbigs.net, feel free to do so. And we will get that over to Iris. I'm going to say right now, you all don't have a solid marketing plan unless you're working with someone that is helping you create that solid marketing plan. So if you had a solid marketing plan, would it be easier for you to drive revenue in your business? The answer to that is 1,000% yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 1,000% yes. So you've got to ask yourself that question. Are you spinning your wheels every day and feeling like that entrepreneur that traded 40 hours for 80 hours? I hate it when people say that. I'm like, you're working how many hours? Yeah, I don't work that many hours a week. Let me teach you how to not do that, for one,
Wasn't it like
you do, Iris, right?
Yeah. Wasn't it like, I'd rather work, 100 hours for myself than 40 hours for somebody else? Hell no, I don't want to work 100 hours a week. That's not why we did this, right?
Yeah, Iris and I do not.
Yeah, no.
And she just got back from Disneyland. So
I did.
Disney World.
We were at Disney World. It was insane. Like 4 days. I'm just going to throw it out there. If you're going and you get the 4-day pass, do 2 days, take a day break, and then do the other 2 days, because 4 days in a row was nuts, but it was amazing. It was really, I got really, really, really good advice for someone who's thinking about doing that vacation. And I know Disneyland does Boogie Woogie or Oogie Woogie, or is it like all decorated now for Halloween? Has that started in Disney World? No, they started putting out T-shirts, but they didn't start with the decorations yet. I think they were just starting to put
so Disneyland is already full decorated. Like they're full out, already decorated. I have a daughter who actually is a Disney. She helps with cruises, and she's a vacation planner for Disney.
Gotcha.
And so anyone can work with her to plan their vacation. And so she just went to Disney World and then went to Disneyland about a week after, and they've already all decorated and everyone was in their costumes and everything's already decorated for Halloween. So super fun. Great place to take your family. Well, Iris, I've really enjoyed our conversation today. Marketing is king, right? If you're not online, you're not an option.
Queen.
It's queen. Queen. I like that because I'm a queen, right? It's perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. It's absolutely queen. I would say, this is something that just really goes with exposure. If you're not being seen, you're not being heard, If you're not out there, no one's going to come knock on your door. It's no different than putting up a brick and mortar and not putting a lit sign on it to say, this is what's in this building. Nobody is going to stop. Just going to say, no one's going to stop. So are they seeing you online? Do you have a solid marketing plan? And if you don't, Iris Goldfeder is here with a gas stove creative to take you to that next level, or just to kind of initiate a marketing plan in your business. And I'm going to tell you today, you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that will ever be. So are you going to take this chance on yourself and your business and say, I need to do it, kind of like pull up the big girl pants, right? I got to do it the right way. I need to have a marketing plan. I need to have a business plan. I have to have an income strategy. You need goals. All of these things are part of owning a business. So why are you out there just kind of flailing, trying to figure it out on your own, and you can't figure out why you're not making any money? Well, I think we just hit on a few points of why that might be. Right. So, Iris, thank you so much for being on today's show. It was just such a pleasure to have you here. Your dog was silent the entire time. So
I know,
don't say it. Don't say it. We're finishing up right now. So to all of you, thank you so much for being with us this week. We love you. We appreciate you. We love your loyalty. Thank you for making us the top 1% global podcast in the world. I just can't thank you enough for all the love and support that we get from you. Iris, thank you again for being an amazing guest. And to all of you, until next time, be you and be strong. Bye-bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed our show today, as our guests shared their secrets on designing their life by taking the necessary leaps to expand their influence and attract the right people and clients into their lives. To start these easy steps for yourself, be sure to visit www.colleenbiggs.net/freebies to download the 7 ways to increase your exposure today.